If you could describe Billy Joe Saunders in one quick sentence, how would you do so?
A sexy motherfucker.
I'm gonna make sure he go right out the ring, and I might get on the top of the bucket or the rope and come down with a flying elbow kick. Who knows? Who knows?
Hope you get hit by a bus today, you fucking wanker.
Who the fuck is he talking about?
Oh, great shot! Left hand, right hand from Maxwell. Well, where did that come from? I can hardly believe what I've seen. An astonishing turnaround. He gets to his feet and he stops it. He stops it.
And the first time was so nice, I had to do it twice.
Favor of Tyson Fury. And judge at ringside, Phil Edwards scores about 113 to 113. Even a draw. The decision is a split decision draw.
Ooh, how convenient.
They can say anything the fuck they want, and I don't care.
I'm the can man. I'm more Mexican and the rule is he's a coward. He's all gut and no heart. Pussy.
Daniel Dibor, I am going to knock you out.
You ain't ready for me, and you never have been, you never will be. All your knockout power and 10 men in that ring on the night can't beat Tyson Fury. If you fuck yourself.
Oh, go on, man.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? What's everyone doing today? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Quickly, though, somebody in the chat saying that they're getting an error. Let us know if the show is working in the chat, please. Just so if it's not working, we need to fix that. But digressing, I am Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Going to be talking all things boxing today, breaking down Top Rank's potential sale to 3 bidders, one of them, or 2 of them, I should say, being Endeavor, the owners of the UFC, and the other being DAZN, respectively. We'll get to the third one, as I don't think it's really going to be a factor later. Also, Caleb Plant sort of returning the favor in terms of media narratives and spin, creating his own spin potentially, sending offers, air quotes, to Gennady Golovkin and Callum Smith. Definitely interesting there. So cannot wait to dissect that one with the panel here. And a lot to get to on today's show. Purse bid information, a lot to get to. Deontay Wilder topics I think we can address as well. A lot to get to on a jam-packed show. If you haven't seen yesterday's show previewing all of the weekend's fights, go do that. Maybe after this show or during the show, whatever you want to do. But make sure you guys go check out that show as well to hear our breakdown and preview of the big fight coming up on Saturday. But without further ado, let's get to the notorious panel of MCR. The one and only Mr. Robbie Hearns, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie. Robbie, how are you?
Yeah, doing good. I've been told in the chat not to say smash that thumbs up, share the show, all that good stuff. So I won't do that because obviously people know that by now. Yeah. What was today? Nothing much. Oh, the undercard done their thing today. Shout out Christina Poncha. She had to get like 14 interviews in 30 minutes or something like that. She done a good job. But yeah, other news. Plant with offers for potentially Triple G and Callum Smith. Callum Smith coming back out with a response. Top Rank for sale. Who's going to land that, if at all? But there's some bits and pieces on that we'll discuss. Yeah, plus some other things. Yeah, Gary, how you doing, man?
Gary in Dallas, what's up?
Lots to get into. I have some thoughts on this Top Rank thing, the timing and the convenience of 3 companies all of a sudden coming in and offering to buy it. Seems a little strange to me after the interview that Bob Arum just put out. We'll get into it. And Caleb Plant with the call-outs. 168 is going to be on fire for the near future if any of these things, with Canelo division and if all these fights come to fruition. I would be hyped for a Smith-Plant fight.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. But we're going to get to all of that in a bit. Let's first get to the Top Rank sell, because I feel like that's a massive news topic. I mean, if Top Rank sells its stake or a percentage of its company off to investors. That's a massive piece of news in the boxing world. It is industry changing literally overnight, in my opinion, if that does happen. And Business Insider is the ones detailing this by Alan Dawson. One of boxing's most powerful executives says he is open to selling Top Rank, and 3 heavyweight companies have talked to him about buying. Those 3 companies are Hollywood talent agency Endeavor, NASDAQ telecoms firm Liberty Global, and the market disrupting OTT subscription sports streaming service DAZN. This is what Business Insider writes. No figure has been given in terms of what Top Rank is asking for. I'm not surprised we haven't heard a figure publicly yet, at least officially. Also, Lance Pugmire, after this article was posted, says that Bob Arum tells me reports are true. He is contemplating taking a minority investment of Top Rank up to 40%. Nothing imminent, he says, but possible it would happen within 1 year. Arum, 88, said he would remain the face and voice of the company. This is something that's not new. Gary prefaced the topic. He said this is all of a sudden, and it's not all of a sudden. We reported this a month or so ago, I want to say, with the Chris Mannix interview of Bob Arum. And plus, a year ago, we do know that Endeavor was trying to buy the fight library of Top Rank. So we know that, publicly speaking, we know that there has been interest in Top Rank for at least a year now. So the fact that it's Endeavor, again, not surprising. DAZN adding in, that was one of the companies we theorized when we talked about this a month ago, would be potentially one of the suitors of Top Rank, along with ESPN and other networks as potentially buyers of Top Rank in terms of just having sports rights. Liberty Global is a very, small, it's a multi-billion-dollar company, but it's a relatively small company that is predominantly a European venture. They have a lot of stake in Virgin Mobile in the UK and in other communications companies, especially in Belgium and the Netherlands. Also, I want to say they are majority owners of ITV. They did list ITV as one of their investments, but I forget if it was a majority owners or investment of ITV. But they, largely speaking, a just investment firm for communications companies. Gary, you sort of jumped on this topic before I jumped in and said you have some wild theory or whatever. I'm maybe putting words in your mouth there about what you could be theorizing here. So thoughts here, Gary, on the Top Rank sale, Endeavor, DAZN, and Liberty Global being the 3 companies that are interested in Top Rank.
No, I don't think there's a conspiracy or anything like that. I just think Bob Arum is being a salesman, right? Like, I have 3 bids coming on at once. You guys better get your bids in before it's too late, and they better be real. Look, do I think Endeavor offered to buy the library, made a deal to buy the library or proposal to buy the library? Absolutely. Why wouldn't they want it? Right? There's so much in the library. Ali, Hagler Hearns, the water bottle incident with Pryor and Aguero. Like, there is so much in that library, right? It's the best boxing library there is, right? There's not a better one. So, yeah, they want it. I thought ESPN would make a serious plan because they would own all the rights to it. And they already have a working relationship with Top Rank. Do I think those other companies may have discussed buying them, met with Bob? Sure. Do I think all 3 of them are like in some type of bidding war and this thing is going to get sold within a year? I mean, it's aggressive. I mean, that interview was, I don't think it was a month ago. Maybe it was. I started to lose track. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was a month ago. But it just seems like in 2 weeks, they've sent out these $200-300 million offers to buy Top Rank. All of a sudden, like, I don't know. Again, I'm not saying, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the reporting. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I think Bob is.
No. Yeah. All right. Maybe I think you're framing it very poorly. But what you're trying to say is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that Bob Arum is taking this to the media 2 days or 3 days before Wilder Fury 2. All of the tension is on boxing in the sporting world right now in the U.S. It's a tactical announcement of these offers or these negotiations he's been having with multiple companies. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think it's anything nefarious about that, though. Like, that's just how, like, that's Yeah, the framing of it almost seemed like you thought of it as a nefarious plan. I was like, no, that's just smart. I would say, if you're trying to up your value as a company, make these negotiations public within days of an event that has your company talked about on every sports programming platform in the country. Rob, thoughts on Top Rank sale potentially to Endeavor, to DAZN? Thoughts on the timing of this all kind of coming out into the public light? Thoughts on that?
Well, it came out public light kind of 3 weeks ago now on the Mannix. I think, Mannix kind of got this out of Bob, but doing some digging around, speaking to people behind the scenes, and that want like remain nameless, but this has been no secret. Top Rank for over a year. This is like inside the industry, not being a secret by any stretch. And they also suggested that they're not necessarily taking Endeavor kind of seriously with this. They're kind of ruling them out in a way. They sort of feel they've always been in and around, but never been quite willing to make that leap or whatever. But if talks are happening, I think it came out that I don't know if it was necessarily Bob, but representatives met with Balavnik from DAZN, the owner of DAZN.
No, Bob said that specifically.
Yeah. And Bob's like wanting Top Rank to become like global. That was always apparently his dream. He said like fights in India and all kinds of, he wants to take it global. Now, I think personally DAZN would be smart to try and get this. They've got all their markets, but I'm a little stuck as to apparently ESPN have got 7-year deal still remaining with Top Rank. If they sell or do whatever, does that null and void that contract or no? It's difficult. I don't know where DAZN.
Remember that would only be for their US market. So like DAZN would then have the rights to Top Rank events in all of their other markets, and then there would also be the main investor of obviously Top Rank on the ESPN card. So then they would make money off of the ESPN budget technically. So DAZN would then be, think about it this way, like instead of Bob Arum making money off of the Top Rank TV budget, now it's DAZN making money off of the ESPN budget. And they'll probably just wait out that 7 years and then take Top Rank to DAZN. That's what I would theorize they would do.
Yeah. I mean, that's the a real like the long game, right? But it's interesting. I mean, I don't know whether again it's just talk, because it's from what I'm being told, it's been talk for a long time, kind of like the PBC that's been for sale for a good while apparently. So and yet no one's really come in with authority and said, yeah, there's the money, give me what you're selling kind of thing. So I don't know, we'll see.
Well, as I stated on the show 3 weeks ago, whenever it was for the Chris Mannix issue, because we brought up obviously the comparisons to the PBC sale and all that happened last year, that news was a news cycle. Endeavor, obviously, for those who don't know, the parent company of the UFC, a gigantic Hollywood talent agency, they wanted to go public, i.e. go on the stock market the end of last year, I want to say. They decided not to. There was a bunch of companies, not just Endeavor, but a bunch of companies that were going to go IPO at the end of last year, but decided not to, largely speaking due to Uber failing their IPO when they went public. And that's what going public is IPO. When they launched their IPO and went public, Uber tanked. They did not make back the money they wanted to. And a lot of companies sort of followed suit and said, we're going to wait on whenever the market feels better for us as a corporation. So that's why the PBC sale didn't go through. That's also, I'm going to theorize, it wasn't specified, but this is all around the same time. I'm going to theorize that's why the Top Rank library buyout by Endeavor also did not happen. Because remember Bob Arum in that Business Insider article that we just talked about, he even specified that the Fight Library, they make a ton of money from Hollywood, from movie companies wanting fight footage, documentary companies wanting fight footage, and they do make a pretty penny off of that. So I'm going to assume that Endeavor was the main buyer or the main negotiating sort of party with both Top Rank and PBC. Their IPO failed, so they did not buy PBC. They did not buy out Top Rank to whatever degree they want to do. And then I think this year they're maybe going to probably roll the dice again and trying to see where they can go about it. And looking at the end of this year, buying a Top Rank, buying a PBC or both, and then beefing up their portfolio as a company. Obviously, I think DAZN is the clear second to get Top Rank, but I think Endeavor is clearly in a stage of buying up IP, buying up intellectual property. And Top Rank is some of the longest running intellectual property in boxing. So I would not be surprised if Endeavor goes and tries to get that with all they can get, especially with it being comparative to the UFC buyout in terms of the effect it has on the combat sports industry. I think Endeavor is the clear favorite here, but DAZN's a clear number 2 as well. Gary, thoughts on who gets Top Rank? I know you're a little bit skeptical of how this ends in this year, but thought experiment here. Let's say Top Rank does sell this year, majority percentage of their company. Bob Arum goes to a minority investor. Who becomes the majority investor of Top Rank at the end of the year?
Because I got to rearrange my thinking. Like a year ago, I said he's just going to go public with it and let Todd DeBuff deal with the headache and basically just sit in an office all day and call himself the CEO, you know. But now it looks like he's really going to sell to another private owner, which he'll have a minority stake in. And very impressive, Matt. You're right. The Uber IPO did tank, but not as bad as the Lyft one. The Lyft was awful.
Thank you. I knew there was another company that also failed. Thank you.
Lyft was terrible. And Uber IPO like a month after that or 2 months after that. And it was not as bad, but it's like you should have saw the writing on the wall. No, I think it just depends how crazy DAZN is. I mean, how much do they want to sink into boxing? They've already said that we're going to be a major player in boxing with the Canelo and with everything they've done with Matchroom. I would prefer it to go to DAZN, honestly, because it wouldn't be no difficulty at all making Top Rank fights with Matchroom fighters or Golden Boy fighters. It would be. Matt never
Gary, you say that as we're literally going through a, how do you want to call it, tenuous negotiation process for Canelo, a Golden Boy fighter, with Matchroom fighters.
Matchroom and Golden Boy, right? Obviously, there's always going to be problems, granted, and there's always going to be difficulties in politics, but there'd be less. This would be a path of less.
One second, Gary, because we cut back in. YouTube like just dropped out, but we're back in. Guys, let us know if we're back. It looked like we glitched out for a second there on YouTube's end. Gary, continue from about a sentence or two ago from what you're saying, just in case.
DAZN bought Top Rank. It would be a path of less resistance. Obviously, there's still politics involved. Obviously, there's always going to be headaches when negotiating $1 million contracts between egomaniacs, right? There's always going to be problems. But there would be less problems and there'd be less resistance and headaches if DAZN had a major stake in Top Rank, like they do in Golden Boy. Like Golden Boy fighters and Matchroom fighters, not that there's no resistance, come together. Top Rank fighters would also come together. It would remove a hurdle, I guess is the best way to say it. Not that it makes it smooth, but it removes one hurdle.
No, I absolutely agree with that. I disagree slightly. And Rob, maybe you want to jump in here. I don't know if you do. About who do we want to take Top Rank, right? Who do we want to take the toys away? I prefer it to be Endeavor because I see that being if Endeavor owns both the UFC and Top Rank, the issue of unionization in combat sports becomes more of a linear topic across combat sports. I like that. Secondly, it would imply that the ESPN deal is not in any sort of concern, for sure, because obviously Endeavor is owning the UFC, which has an ESPN deal, and there'd be no need to worry about network issues there. And I don't, to Top Rank and Matchroom and Golden Boy's credit, they have been working together quite well. in the past. So I'm not too concerned by it, about these entities not being under the same total conglomerate and not being able to work together. They seem to be working together quite well for what we ask of them, comparative to, let's say, PBC and DAZN promoters, right? I mean, I just to be honest here, like Top Rank does work a little bit better, I would say, with the DAZN side. ESPN works a little bit better with the DAZN side than PBC's conglomerate right now. Am I wrong in that? And that I don't know, feeling that.
No. You know who I want to get it.
Yes, we know. We know.
No, but I'm sort of, although, like you say, they're kind of working well together now. I think if they are in that, I know, like you say, the issue is maybe the ESPN deal. That's where it may become a little difficult, because if DAZN owns Top Rank, but there's a deal on ESPN, then ESPN will say, well, we want X amount of fights, and DAZN like, well, we want it on DAZN. Is maybe the issue there? But as far as like making fights, like the bigger fights, then I think it'd be huge for DAZN if they I think that's a clear, I don't want to say like the front runner, but when you've got like the likes of PBC with Fox deal. So I don't know quite how it'll work, but I think for DAZN it would be huge. But again, it's just more boxing. They've got boxing. DAZN need other stuff, not just boxing. But
Rob, with the critical take on DAZN,
that's
okay.
We all know that. That's not critical.
But I'll be honest. I didn't phrase it, so I'm glad you did. No, you're right. I mean, it would be more of compounding an issue for DAZN to a degree, right? Like, yes, it's great to get Top Rank because that there's value in that, obviously. But like you just said, it's still just boxing, and DAZN, globally speaking, needs other content than boxing.
Like, they've got boxing fans. If you're a boxing fan, you've got DAZN, you've got ESPN Plus.
Yes.
If you're a casual,
you may not even know what those are. And
DAZN getting the potentially the services of Jose Ramirez or something ain't dragging in casuals, right? So yeah, it would be good. It would be really good for DAZN, but they also need other sports, So
especially
I don't know about this other one, whether they're a dark horse coming in, this other company. We've kind of just said Endeavor and DAZN because they're kind of been related to obviously boxing. This other company, it's like, I don't know. Is there a good chance? Who are they? What do they really want this? Are they going to be able to do it?
No.
If they're part of ITV.
I looked them up. I did some research on them because I was like Liberty Global. Like I'd vaguely heard the name I think before, but not really, obviously, like not in depth to where I knew what they were.
It's a British company, isn't it?
It's a European company.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to say it's specifically based in UK. I didn't look at where their financial holdings are placed. I mean, most of their company in terms of their revenue is like Belgium and Netherlands is what I want to say. Like a lot of their portfolio from their website in terms of what they were selling was their TV rights deals and how much they own in terms of because they're like Verizon, Gary. They're like Verizon. They're like DirecTV. They're like Fios. They're like that in Europe. Okay, they're a miniature version of that. So they're the number one broadband connection and fiber optics company, it looks like, in Belgium and Netherlands. So that's you can be $1 billion company doing that. Does that mean you can then go and buy Top Rank? And there's a couple leaps you're jumping as a corporation, in my opinion.
I said about a year ago. They had an infusion of cash. Their stock price went crazy, and then it's like come back. Liberty Global.
Okay.
They had an infusion of cash. The stock price like doubled like last year, and then now it's kind of gone back. It hasn't plummeted. It's just kind of gone back to where it's supposed to be. I don't understand like why what their big plan is. Like they got an infusion of cash for something, but then nothing was largely done with it. So they have a plan to do something. I just like they're playing it close to the chest. I don't know if that is involved in like they want to kind of replicate what DAZN is doing with streaming sports or something, but like they got cash to do something. I don't know what that is though.
Yeah, and they do seem to be making pretty good money in terms of profits. I mean, they from the little that I've seen, like they're a decent sized company. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. They're making money.
If you look at the fundamentals, it's a good company. You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's just one of those where it's a good company, but is it a company that then buys a U.S. sporting company, an entertainment company, and then becomes a player in the sports industry in the U.S.? Like, no, they have no holdings in the U.S. From my understanding, they have no business dealings in the U.S. So it'd be a huge leap for them. Moving on though, unless you guys have anything else to say about this Top Rank sale, because obviously it's not going to happen now, but it's definitely something to look at and pay attention to as fans. And I just being honest and looking from a more general perspective, connecting to the PBC sale and etc. Do not be surprised in the next 5-10 years we do see a generational turnover of executives in the sport. I would not be surprised by that at all. Not being morbid by it, but just saying like, look, like this is how it runs. It's very rare for executives to be in charge of an industry for 60 years. There is some turnover, and there hasn't been any really in boxing. Moving on though, let's get to the Caleb Plant story, which has the boxing world all debating and discussing. Chris Mannix reporting Callum Smith's promoter Eddie Hearn and Caleb Plant's manager Louis DeCubas had a conversation recently about matching the 168-pound title holders. No offers were exchanged, but talks for a fight could be revisited once Canelo makes a decision for an opponent in May. Mike Coppinger adding to it, saying, "Will be fascinating unification fight. Caleb Plant is a guest on tomorrow, which would be today's episode of the Pug and Cop Boxing Show, and discusses his interest in fights with Smith and Triple G." So if you want to see or hear Caleb Plant more, probably today, the Pug and Cop podcast, you can probably check it out. Marcos Villegas saying that he interviewed Caleb Plant, where Caleb Plant actually sent an offer to Triple G as well as Callum Smith for June of this year. And then Callum Smith responded to Chris Mannix's original reporting and said, no, an offer was made. Callum Smith responding, I haven't received an offer, but if I do, hopefully we can get this fight made. # unification. So guys, a lot of moving parts here. I'm going to give my brief thoughts here, and then I want Rob to jump in. At the very least, like let's say none of these offers are real. Let's say these are just very initial feelers being sent out. This is a fantastic PR spin by Caleb Plant or whoever is in his ear. A week ago, not even a week ago, like half a week ago, this weekend, it was Oscar saying that Caleb Plant was a coward. He was ducking Canelo. He didn't want to take the fight for his life, blah, blah. And you had Caleb Plant having to respond to that and defend himself. And honestly, in the court of public opinion, he was losing. What does he then do? Put out there into the public, yep, I'm sending offers to Gennady Golovkin, the guy that Canelo doesn't want to face in a trilogy fight. Who you guys think beat Canelo twice? I want to fight him. Hey, for public spin, it's amazing here. And Callum Smith. I mean, it is just fantastic PR maneuvering here by Caleb Plant. Regardless if the offers are true or not, because like that's almost like a second order, third order issue for me personally. I'm just amazed at this PR spin. This is what I'm asking the fighters to do. To go out in the public and spin the narrative in your favor. In terms of the media, the fans, don't let things happen to you. Be the driving force in your brand. And largely speaking, both Callum Smith and to his credit as well, both of them are doing that here and taking this public to a degree and changing the narrative from, oh, they don't want to fight Canelo to, oh, what about this awesome unification fight that could happen? Oh, what about Triple G in the mix here? I love it. I think that's just fantastic maneuvering here by Caleb Plant as a boxer, as a entertainer. Rob, thoughts on this all? And do you think the offers will happen? Because I'll be honest, I don't think there was an offer really sent. I think it's just initial feelers being sent out. Do you think there will be an offer sent to Callum Smith and or Triple G, bearing whatever happened with Canelo?
Yeah, I mean,
like let's say Smith doesn't get the Canelo fight. Let's say Triple G doesn't get the Canelo fight.
Yeah,
Plant then sends an actual offer to both guys.
Yeah, I truly hope so. I think they will. I think they will. He can't be out here saying all this big boy talk and then not actually do anything. It's like, well, he's out here saying this guy, that guy, that guy. I mean, shout out Caleb Plant for a start using my clipped part of the Boxing Junkie. He put that out saying,
he did?
People out here saying Benavidez, but he don't want it. Look, and he's used. I swear, it must be the mine because I posted it on people that were saying, Plant's ducking Benavidez. I was like, well, have a look at what his promoter's saying before you start calling someone a duck or anything like that. But yeah, like he said there was an offer sent. He's put it in capital. The one that Callum Smith replied to. He's like, there was an offer sent, and then Callum Smith replied, "Well, I haven't seen it. If I get it."
The semantics game here is incredible.
Yeah. He's like, well, I haven't seen it. If I do see it, let's hope we can make the fight. It's like, god damn. But yeah, let's see it. I'm down for that. And Callum Smith needs a big fight. Let's be we're all 99.9% sure he's not getting a Canelo fight in May. So as soon as they announce, which by the way, I hope is tomorrow, Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders. But
so you want, I'm not surprised, I'm not opposed to it, but you want Plant Smith instead of Plant Triple G?
Yeah.
Gary.
Because then there's you want him to come up to 168.
No, I understand. Like I said, I don't disagree with it. I just want to make sure that's your take.
I was ever gonna send Triple G an offer. It's while he's got a calf injury and he looked like shit against Derevchenko, and he's been kicked out of the snacks program. That's when I would.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, why not throw that name in as well? But Smith with a bout holder, unification. Why not? Like you say, people are getting. Oh, he didn't want the Canelo fight. No, because I want to unify the division.
Triple G is obviously the bigger fight, but Callum Smith is the better fight, and that's a clear distinction, I would say. Gary, though, thoughts on Caleb Plant here spinning the narrative?
I think it's a great PR move by PBC. I think like they've walked into something here by chance. I don't want to say by chance because obviously the kid has talent, but like Caleb Plant was a good prospect coming up, but like he didn't really capture everyone's attention, right? He was winning fights mostly on points. If I had to pick one guy to beat Canelo, I'd pick him, which would make him then the biggest star in boxing. Like, I don't think they ever imagined that when they signed him. You know what I'm saying? And that's a real possibility. Like, I don't know that he beats Canelo, but he maybe could. Like, I wouldn't, it's not out of the realm. Certainly. I may pick him.
And I pick him to beat every other super middleweight champion. Just want to point that out. So
I think this is like an effort to clear his name. Like, he didn't duck anyone. Look at these offers that we're sending out. And it's an attempt to say, look, how we work across the aisle. Look, we're working with people. We're making deals. So when the Canelo fight is ready, hypothetically in September or next May or whenever, we're ready and available to work with people. And you know that they believe in him because they weren't working Jamal Charlo like this, right? Like they weren't bringing Jamal Charlo and say, hey, let's bring Triple G over, right? But they obviously believe in Plant. They believe in his talent. And they want to make him look like a fighting champion, which I'm sure he is. But I think everything here on Caleb Plant's side is a win. I agree with y'all that Triple G is the bigger fight, but the fight I want is Caleb Smith. If they can make that fight.
Are we just put on our conspiracy hats here, Gary, for a second? Okay. I know you like that hat. Let's put it on together here. Caleb Plant and Triple G were, because now Triple G is not, they were snack fighters together. Do you think they ever trained together?
I'm sure they've crossed paths.
Okay.
I would think so.
I definitely think Caleb Plant has sized up Triple G in person.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it was actually in sparring or anything like that, doesn't really matter. I think they clearly have seen each other in person and training together. And Plant knows I can beat Triple G. And beating Triple G still has some cachet. It just does. And to your point, I didn't point this out. I'm glad you did, Gary, that this was PBC being the ones initiating, in theory, the negotiations to the other side with DAZN. I like that. It's good to see people, playing nice in the sandbox to make great fights. Even if the fight's not made yet, it's good to see that that's happening, that there's conversations happening. Like you said, for Jamal, they said, don't say anything back. Clearly, they're not telling that to Caleb Plant. And I think you're probably right, Gary. It's due to an internal perception of both fighters right now. They believe Caleb Plant can beat all these guys. I don't know if they think that for Jamal Charlo with his last 12 months that he's had. And that's a significant difference. Guys, any other thoughts on Caleb Plant, who he's fighting next, the offers, the negotiations, the public spin, all of it? Any last thoughts? Rob, Gary, no?
Yeah, no, I just hope something comes from it. Like I say, Callum Smith needs a big fight. And I think at this point, Eddie's not got a problem with him going over to America and fighting on Fox or anything like that. I don't think it's a case of, well, it's got to be on Sky and it's got to be Plant's got to come here, otherwise, you know what I mean? I don't think there's going to be any of that because Callum's just got to get moving now. I know.
He's not a key asset for DAZN. He's just not.
No, not for DAZN.
So for the US TV, it should be an issue, and I think it would just be on Sky Sports or depending where it's at if they do make the fight, because it could be in the UK. I don't think it's out.
I mean, Steve Kim sat down with him. There's a little clip on Twitter, and he's kind of said, or would you go to the UK? I'm sure they'll make that a pay-per-view in the UK. Obviously, the place would be full up, for a unification, a big, the gate and all that kind of stuff. So,
and he was okay with it, obviously.
Yeah, and then Caleb was like, would it be a pay-per-view? He was kind of asking Steve Kim's opinion. And he said, I don't think that would be a pay-per-view here. I just don't, I think with Callum Smith being the B-side in America, I kind of agree with Steve Kim. I don't think that's pay-per-view worthy there. But a pay-per-view here, £25 or £20, I'm sure it would be, especially everyone would like to say Eddie Hearn. Of course it is. He loves a pound note kind of thing. But so yeah, it kind of made other fighters would have been like, nah, fuck that. But he kind of was like listening, sort of taking in opinion, which I think Caleb Plant seems that kind of guy, like not just dismiss and it's on the me. He was kind of like, oh yeah, maybe, yeah.
Me and him discussed the very first time I ever met him, actually, because we've talked and met a few times. Very first time I ever met him, we talked about like serious industry issues for a good while. We even talked about like his daughter and what's happened there. It just the guy could be a star. I've always said that. The guy, I think he has a good head on his shoulders too. He's personable, knowledgeable, he's smart, and also fantastic fighter. Like that in of itself, I think is going to get him very far as those skills. Because he may be the best pure boxer in the sport, besides maybe a few guys, right? Like the conversation for best pure boxers, he's in that conversation now. He has to be, just from a pure technical perspective. And speaking of Plant, very quickly, Plant Vegan Butts draws a peak audience of 1.8 million viewers. The full three fight telecast averaged 1.5 million viewers. It was up from the Julian Williams fight, I think by like 17% or something like that. Good. And also Plant doing decent numbers with like nobody's. Oh, what happened to Rob? Oh, sorry, Rob. Accidentally clicked you out of the stream instead of the link. I'll fix this. I'm sorry.
And now I'm on the right.
I know. That's so rude.
Over there, Gary.
I apologize. That's very rude of me. But Plant Vegan Butts doing decent numbers on Fox. Guys, any other thoughts on Caleb Plant before we move on?
Yeah, quickly. In the chat. Where's it gone? Oh, I've lost it. It said something about oh yeah.
In the YouTube chat?
Liam Roscoe. Eddie should send Smith over to PBC for Plant if Al sends Charlo over for Andrade. Little swap deal.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't know if that would be the swap I would do because Jamal Charlo is clearly the A side compared to Andrade. You know what I mean? Like it. Like
yeah.
I'm trying to think of another fight we could have for that. But I'm not opposed to it, Liam. I'm not opposed to it. I'm okay with swaps. I just don't know if that would be the one that would get PBC to be like, oh, yeah, we'll extend you Charlo. No, I don't know about that one.
Could we admit, too, that Andrade is the complete wrong fight for Charlo? Like, he fought a poor man's, a very poor man's version of Andrade in Korobov and nearly lost. I don't think that's the right fight. I mean, make the fight the best, sure. But, like, if I'm PBC, I want Triple G. That's a much better fight for him. Danny Jacobs is a better fight for him. That Andrade fight is a bad look for Charlo. I mean, maybe he could win it, but I would explore the other options before settling. If I'm his promoter, I would explore other options before settling on Andrade. Just saying.
I largely agree. PSK, I like this one better. Send Charlo over for a Triple G. Yes.
Yeah. I was just reading that. It's like a swap deal. I like the idea of it.
Triple G is clearly the A side compared to Charlo. Like
I just wonder. There was a report with Canelo saying about doing weight the right way and doing 160 in either September or December.
I saw that, yeah.
So is he not making Triple G come up in September?
Look, I've been on the record, I don't know how many times saying that Canelo should get back down to 160. Like, he's dealing with a lot of giants at 175 and 168. Like, it's just, look at Callum Smith. The guy's a fucking cruiserweight that cuts weight to 168.
He's basically light heavy as he weighs in.
I mean, the guy is massive, dude. Like there's Canelo's a 5'8" dude. Like, no matter how good Canelo is, he's still 5'8". I'm an inch taller than Canelo. No, he needs to go back down to 160. And plus, there's really good fights from at 160 still. Triple G, Charlo, Andrade, like they're still really makeable fights. But digressing, guys, let's move on. Let's get to this breaking news that came about just 5 minutes before the show started, which I'm actually like really perplexed by. And Rob, I'm hoping that some follow-up piece of information has come out to explain this. But the Wilder Fury weigh-in, which is tomorrow, will not have a face-off. Dan Rayfield reporting breaking: the Nevada State Athletic Commission has banned Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury from engaging in a face-off after they weigh in for the heavyweight championship fight on Friday afternoon. Top-ranked president Todd DeBuff told ESPN on Thursday, quote, "In my 25 years in boxing, I've never heard of an administrative body stepping in and prohibiting a face-off. It's the pinnacle moment before the fight. I am just shocked." And for once in my life, I'm absolutely in agreement here with Todd DeBuff.
Here we go. Bob Bennett. The reason the decision was made on behalf of the commission is because the press conference on Wednesday spoke for itself. Executive Director Bob Bennett told ESPN. The actions of the two fighters pushing each other, which was not staged, is not indicative of the image of our sport as a major league sport. Thus, having a face-off is not in the best interest in the health and safety of the fighters and the public and the event. And quite frankly, that image where you have two professional athletes pushing each other where somebody could get hurt is not keeping with the image of major league sport, and we are a major league sport.
I was hoping like you were going to stop at like certain points in that, and you just kept going, and it kept getting worse.
I don't know what to say.
Now I'm
look. I get like fighters shouldn't be assaulting each other before a fight, like because that's like against the law. But a shove at the weigh-in, and let's be honest here, the weigh-in shove, or not the weigh-in, the press conference shove that they're citing here is the prime reason that they're not allowing a face-off at the weigh-in was pretty calm. Like
completely staged, in my opinion.
No,
you shove me and I'll shove you back, because the rest of the people on the stage. It didn't get Larry. You know that guy that's always with Wilder. He can't help himself.
We have seen like fighters like John Jones literally punch Daniel Cormier in the lobby of the MGM for a press conference. Guess what? They had face-offs. I mean, how many times do we have plexiglass between fighters for face-offs? For fuck's sake, at fights
something like that.
Fernando Vargas, Ricardo Mayorga. Like what?
Tyson bit Lennox Lewis at a press conference. Bit him. And they still had a face-off. I don't know.
This isn't just about the fighters, Bob Bennett. I am not going to put the public or the fighters or this event in harm's way because everybody. Wait. Because everybody is looking forward to a spectacular event. The decision is in the best interest of the fighters, the fans, and the event.
No, it's not. Because
Bob Arum has said, if this fight depends on the face-off to sell, then we haven't done our job.
Well, no, but if a face-off, like Todd Buff says, is like the pinnacle moment of the promotion because it's the last time they see each other. It's when they're weighed in. If it's for not heavyweights, it's usually when they're pissed off and hungry. It is the culmination of the tension and the buildup of a fight. It is. Todd Buff is 100% correct when he says it's the pinnacle moment before the fight. It is the weigh-in face-off.
And that sells the fight. Having these two behemoths stare each other down, that helps sell the fight. There's a reason why people go to it.
That's the final push for the promo, right?
It's not like they were beating each other up in the parking lot the night before. Like nothing happened to trigger this.
I've seen so many worse face-offs in terms of scuffles and altercations. Like Wilder Fury was nothing for me. Like it didn't even register to me as like an actual like huge face-off. It was like, oh, the tension. It's like, no, they just a normal face-off. They push each other. They move on. Like that seemed so run-of-the-mill. To have this overreaction by Bob Bennett and the Nevada State Athletic Commission is just, I would say shocking, but again, it's Bob Bennett and the Nevada State Athletic Commission. So it's not entirely shocking there, let's be honest. Any other thoughts on this issue in particular? No? Okay.
Well, yeah, it's just ridiculous. Final part of any promo, that could be the difference. Yeah, like you said, I don't want to see Wilder throw a punch and the cut open and shit like that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, that'd be illegal.
Yeah. But this the final bit. It could be the difference between another 100,000 buys or something. If someone's people tune it like, wow, I've got to see this now. I wasn't that into it, but look at these guys. Shirts off, jaw jacking at each other, going crazy, little shove, no problem.
Conor McGregor literally threw a dolly through a bus window at Khabib Nurmagomedov. Okay, guess what? They had numerous face-offs in a press tour. I'm just gonna relax, gonna move on. Still on the topic of Deontay Wilder, though, and I think this is gonna be a topic that Gary is gonna finally be able to show his true colors as a Larry Holmes stan. Wilder is looking to beat Muhammad Ali's record, title defense record consecutively, and he's already, I think technically speaking, in the group of heavyweight champions with 10 plus consecutive title defenses, jumping in there with Larry Holmes, Vladimir Klitschko, Muhammad Ali, and Joe Louis. For anyone that wants to find like a really good, easy to see comparison of all the records, I did that for you on Twitter. You're welcome. But Gary, we're going to do a little thought experiment here because obviously right now it's pretty clear Deontay Wilder is not like he wouldn't be number 4 in this group. He'd be number 5. But with a win, a decisive win over Tyson Fury on Saturday, does Wilder truly legitimize his position here with these guys? And I know it's a loaded question. Oh, sorry, Gary. Hold on. Sorry, Gary. Hold on. I accidentally cut you out like Rob. I apologize.
Look, me and Santi did our list of top 20 heavyweight champs of all time. Neither one of us had Wilder, Joshua, or Fury on it. The winner of this fight has to go on that list of top 20. Okay. How far does he go up with those guys?
Rob, you can't do that when Garrett's talking because no one can hear it and it sounds really bad.
I didn't do anything.
You played a soundbite from Bob Arum. Don't stop. Rob. I didn't do it. Gary, what were you saying?
Liam, get out.
If he wins this fight, for the time being, he's the leader in the clubhouse. He's the best heavyweight of this era, which is a really strong era of heavyweights. We haven't had an era this good since the 90s. His era would be better than Vlad's and Vitaly's, so it would stand to reason he would go ahead of those guys. This is legacy making for the winner of this fight. The winner of this fight will have the best resume of this era and therefore have to go on that list. How high do you want to rank him on that list? I mean, that's completely subjective, and I mean, there's no right or wrong answer to that, but he has to be on the list. He's not going above Larry Holmes, ever. That's for sure.
Yes, Gary, saying weren't all the others on the list either undisputed or unified? Well, I mean, undisputed in an era when there's only one belt.
Belt, 2 belts, and then 3 belts.
I mean, Ali's era wasn't 3 belts; it was 2.
No, Ali was 1. That's what I'm saying. We went from 1, and then Ali was, and there was 2 when he fought Frazier, right? And we had 2 for a long time, and then Holmes gave up the WBC, and they kind of introduced the IBF. I want to say that was like in 85, 86, 87, somewhere along there.
Joe Louis, he fought for like the New York State Athletic Commission.
Yeah.
You know, like it's incomparable when you're talking about just like belt to belt, because the belts now are very different than the belts that were in the 60s or in Joe Louis's case, the 40s and 30s.
But I had Riddick Bowe on my list, and he was never undisputed. I had Klitschko on my list, and he was never undisputed. So they were all unified, but they were not all undisputed.
Maybe I should rephrase my question, because I don't disagree with what you're saying, but right now, most people see this and kind of laugh. Like Wilder with these guys, like, haha, right? If Wilder wins decisively on Saturday against Tyson Fury, should people stop laughing at like him being grouped here for just consecutive title defenses? Like, should that not be a laughing matter anymore? You get what I'm saying? Like,
it should be. If he beats Fury, his resume is better than Rocky Marciano's, right? Like it is. Like Rocky Marciano's got no one on his list nearly as good as a prime Tyson Fury, and he's already got wins over Ortiz, 2 of them. Like, yeah, I mean, look, he's got some bad. I don't want to say bad wins, lower caliber names on his resume. But he knocked them all out. Like, and Abdul Mara said this in on Inside PBC. Like, do you guys know how hard that is? Like, you're not supposed to be knocking everyone else out at this level. Like, that's a really hard thing to do, and he's knocking everyone out. I know there are a ton of Wilder haters, and he has beaten some tomato cans, but he's knocked them all out. Like, no, this is not a laughing matter anymore with Wilder. He's not, fighting bums and tune-ups and tomato cans. He's got real names on his resume at this point, especially if he beats Tyson Fury.
Rob, same question to you. If Deontay Wilder wins decisively on Saturday, where is this a laughing matter still for the Wilder haters that he's in this conversation for just pure consecutive title defenses? Haters kind of relax a little bit. You can still hate on him for,
if you're a hater, if you're a hater, you're a hater. I don't know what the guy's going to do to change your mind necessarily.
He can stop sucking and beat good fighters, which he would do, right? Like I used to have this conversation with Eli Manning, with Giant fans, right? What can you do to stop hating on him? He can stop sucking, and then he stopped sucking, so I stopped hating on him, right?
No, I get you, but I think to a degree, this whole, the Wilder Joshua, it's the look at Joshua's resume, look at his resume, blah blah blah. But kind of like Gary said, this isn't his fault. He's knocked out everyone they've put in front of him, basically. Well, up until Fury. So yeah, if he wins this, look, he's defended his belt. Do I think he should have unified in this time by now? Yeah. Yeah, I don't laugh at it. Some of them are slightly softer defenses, but he's at the tail end of this run. He's facing guys in the top, top 10, top 5 even. So
Can you give me a heavyweight champion with a long run? Evander Holyfield beat Burt Cooper. Like we mentioned, Evander Holyfield's name is a guy who fights all comers. He fought Vaughn Bean, right? Like if you go through anyone's resume who's got 10 defenses, there's going to be some soft names.
Oh
in
yeah.
there.
Just for comparison's sake, I see a lot of people still hating on Wilder in member chat. This conversation is under the pretext of if Wilder wins on Saturday. Okay. Larry Holmes, his resume. Ken Norton, obviously a great fighter. Alfredo Evangelista, Asi Ocasio, Mike Weaver, Ernie Shavers, Lorenzo Zanin, Leroy Jones, Scott Ledoux, Muhammad Ali, Trevor Burbick, Leon Spinks. And then we have Ronaldo Snipes, Jerry Cooney, Randall Cobb, Lucian Rodriguez, Tim Witherspoon. Hey, Witherspoons. Scott Frank, Marvis Frazier, James Smith, David Bay, Carl Williams.
There are at least 8 or 9 names in there that are not great. And that's the best heavyweight. And it's not like I'm not picking on him. Go through Marciano's. They're all ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the bad names on that list is Leon Spinks, who was a heavyweight champ of the world. Terrible worst champ ever. Spinks versus Charles Martin. Who y'all got?
I'll take Spinks.
Don't take Charles Martin.
I can't say Charles Martin. I mean, let's be honest here. Yeah. I mean, I could do the same thing with everyone's resume. I can go through Ali's resume right now. I can go through Joe Lewis's. Like, there's a lot of bad names. Everyone's saying it's frozen right now. Shouldn't be frozen. Hold on. Let me know, guys, if the stream is frozen. It shouldn't be. Everything says it's fine. Quickly, any last thoughts, guys, on this topic before we move on? No. Okay. Yeah, stream says it's fine.
Just one quick word on it.
Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you. Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you.
Oh, my bad.
Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you.
Yo, stop it. Stop.
No, just to hammer the point home.
Yeah, shout out to you for being a dosser right now. Purse bid, guys. Purse bid stories here.
Not necessarily a bid, right?
What was that?
No, actually a bid though. It's not like an auction, was it? When only
one bid happens.
Yeah,
it's not a bidding war, that's for sure.
No.
WBO president Paco. I'm not going to try to pronounce her last name. Announcing purse bid for Ramirez Alvarez took place at the lobby of the MGM in Vegas. Just Top Rank was present. ... Total amount $350,000, split 50-50. Date May 30th in New York. Now,
his last name is Esquire.
That's nice. Rob, get out of here. On top of it, just to table all the information, Alvarez was obviously looking for other people to bid because he was going out to everyone asking for them to buy him out of his Top Rank contract. And it was clearly due to the reporting from Dan Rayfield and Jake Donovan. This number and this figure, which is only, I think, $50,000 more than the minimum bid that was required, was done in spite of Ramirez. That this was Top Rank kind of sabotaging their own fighter to a degree because of the public spat they've been having. Guys, thoughts on this? I'm thinking this fight doesn't even happen because it's $350,000, and both guys are probably thinking they deserve close to 7 figures, if not 7 figures. So, Gary, thoughts on this purse bid happening and being a complete clusterfuck?
Yeah, well, the fight's not going to happen. At first, I was like, oh, good. Back to, like, normal purses again. Like, maybe this... And then I'm like, wait a second. No, this fight's not going to happen. They're not fighting for $175,000 each. There's no way this fight's going to happen. So, okay, maybe Joe Smith gets a chance to fight for that title if these guys both turn it down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I don't think that fight's going to happen.
And Joe Smith would take that at 175.
He got 600, I heard, for his last fight. I don't know.
No, I'm saying he would still, though.
Probably. Yeah.
Smith. You pay him a bag of chips, he'll be there. So mean. I'm sorry. I think you're probably right, Gary, that Joe Smith is going to jump in here. I wonder though if it's going to be both guys dropping out. Like, does Alvarez not even deal with this personal situation because of how it's going and just decides to walk away from it? I don't think they do that. I think Ramirez does. I don't think Alvarez does. I think we get an Alvarez Joe Smith fight in this sort of 4-man tournament they're having. Rob, any thoughts on Top Rank sabotaging their own fighter?
Not this fight. It's not going to happen. No, he's not going to do this. This is it's been a complete waste of time. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It's ridiculous. It's not going to happen.
4 years ago, was this a ridiculously low bid? It's a little on the low end.
4 years ago, yeah.
You think so? All right.
Like, if this was a $700,000 bid, where both guys got $350,000, that would probably be the same as it was 5 years ago.
If you would have asked me 4 years ago, what do you think this was the person went for? I would have said 450, 500. Do you think that's low?
That's a little bit low. Not too low, but jump it up, $200,000, $300,000. That's probably more accurate to what the person bid would have been like 4 years ago. You have to go back maybe 10 years ago to get the number you're thinking of to be more accurate. You're thinking more like 2010, 2012, that paradigm, right? Because by 2015, shit was already moving.
Yeah, I guess so.
We have now.
By the way, in response to, I haven't received the offer yet, but if I do, hopefully we can get this fight made. #unification from Callum Smith. Caleb Plant has replied, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Oh, good Tombstone reference. I love it.
You know, my wife's never seen that movie. Yeah, she's never seen it because I always say you're my Huckleberry. It's like I don't know what that means. I was like, well, now we have to watch Tombstone.
You can make an argument. It may not be a right argument, but you can make the argument it's the best Western of all time. You can make the argument.
It's great.
Great movie. It's Val Kilmer's best role.
For sure.
I'll say that.
Nah.
He didn't say a single word in that entire movie. It was 3.5 hours long. Val Kilmer didn't say a single word in the movie Heat. Just want to bring that up.
No, he made a good Elvis in True Romance.
He did. No, you're right.
I like that.
You're right. You're right. Let's move on. Speaking of purse bid situation, guys, we've been waiting in this one for years now, it seems, right? The epic heavyweight fight we've all been asking for.
No.
No, hold on. Manuel Charr, Trevor Bryan happening, guys. Where's my air horns? Hold on. I'm going to bring it up. Mahmoud Charr. Sorry, not Manuel Charr, as he was formerly called. Mahmoud Charr fighting Trevor Bryan, or I should say purse bid happening. Minimum bid, $1 million. Just want to point that out. The minimum bid for the Ramirez-Alvarez fight was $300,000. The minimum bid here is $1 million. I have really no thoughts about this other than just making some jokes and moving on. But guys, any actual thoughts maybe on Mahmoud Charr versus Trevor Bryan for the WBA unification between its regular title and interim title?
No. You're selling this way too short, Matt. You know this is Don King's epic quest for peace. Don't you remember? We're getting it.
I forgot that's what Don King called it.
Don epic quest for peace. Charr versus Bryan.
What war? What?
I don't even know.
What peace do we need? I'm so confused here.
A war with the sanctioning bodies for keeping them in their rankings. That war. But yeah, crazy. Who's bidding on that? Don King. That's it, right?
Yeah. I mean, who's Trevor Bryan with?
Don King.
They're both with Don King?
I don't know if Charr is. Charr with Don King? I think Bryan is.
You're right that Trevor Bryan is. Maybe I got them mixed up. I forget who Charr's with. Does it matter? Does it matter who he's with?
I don't know. They can have a tune up before, get the rust off. Fucking hell.
Gary, any jokes you want to?
Let me get my rim shot ready. Come on, Gary.
No, we're good. We can move on straight to the next topic.
Oh.
Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you.
Shout out to the WBA. It looks like Kudratilo Abakadorov versus Sergey Lipinets is possible for the 16th of May. Says Jaral Akhmedov. I don't know who that is, but he's saying it. There we go. And just to sort of run through these last topics, so get out of here. It's going to be a quick show, actually, today, it seems. George Kambosos and Lee Selby have agreed to terms and will meet in a lightweight world title elimination fight in the main event of a Matchroom boxing card in Cardiff, Wales, the home country of former featherweight titleist Selby. A source with knowledge of the plans for the fight told ESPN. The winner of the bout, blah, 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 would be the mandatory challenger for 135-pound belt hold by Tifo Lopez, who is headed for a likely May unification fight with Vasily Lomachenko. 2 parts here I want to bring up. No network has been sort of told for this fight. I'm assuming, though, it's still going to be DAZN, even though we have a PBC fighter and a ESPN fighter fighting on a Matchroom card. I think this one's going to be on DAZN.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how that's going to happen. I think that's what we're going to get.
Yeah.
What was that?
I think it will be, yeah. I think it will be DAZN.
That's what I'm thinking, even though, again, it's a fighter that's fun on ESPN and a fighter that's fun on PBC. Regardless, they're fighting on DAZN probably next, since it's a Matchroom card. Maybe an ESPN Plus event and a Sky Sports event. That does happen frequently now, but I doubt that for this level of fight. But, guys, other than that fight being talked about, Lopez Lomachenko being pushed back to May as well, it looks like. Because I was originally penciled in for that April 28th date, I want to say, or something like that. April 25th or whatever that date, I want to say. It was late April. Now being pushed back to May. So, guys, 2 sort of questions here. Thoughts on Kambosos Selby being all but official for May 9th? And thoughts on Lomachenko Lopez being pushed back to May?
May 30th, I think it is, right?
Yeah, I'm shocked it got pushed back so much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guys, thought anything?
Big Baby likely to be the co-main, by the way.
Think there's any reasoning behind, like, the connection between the two? Fight being the card being pushed back and Big Baby being attached to it? Or they just connected it?
Held back for Big Baby, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, sorry, carry on, Gary.
I think that's a mistake moving it back to May 30th. They still plan on putting it in the Garden. Because what if the Knicks are playing in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, this joke would never get old. This joke would never get old. As a Lakers fan, it would never not be funny to make fun of them. Never.
I wasn't ready. I didn't have my rim shot ready.
I mean, I don't care. A month. I mean, I'm just so psyched for this fight. I wish it was tomorrow. That fight, the Lomachenko Teofimo fight. But as long as it's done, just make it official, and then don't let anyone get injured during training. And I'm so ready for that fight. I mean, it's like someone says Christmas comes a month later this year. It's like, okay, that sucks, but I can live with that as long as I still know it's coming. And then this other fight, I don't know, Kambosos versus Selby. I'm into this fight. Rob, you want to get how far off is Cardiff for you? Do you want to get credentials to go to that? I'm really into that.
I don't know where Cardiff is. Where the fuck is Cardiff? Cardiff? Yeah, it's close. It's nearby, Gary. Very close.
Okay. Actually. Thanks, Rob.
Am I going to go to it?
What?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I
think it's 2 guys who both kind of have their world-class level on the line. Like, Kambosos got to win because he got to prove he can beat somebody good. He beat Mickey Bay. It's a good win, but it's not a world-class win. And Selby's got a ton of good wins, but can he still beat those guys and beat those guys at 135?
Quickly, Lee Selby has no great wins. I just want to point that out. Lee Selby was a complete hype job. Just want to point that out quickly. But I will say this. Even though I just shit on Lee Selby, Kambosos beating Lee Selby, I think would sort of put him in this weird dark horse category at lightweight. I want to maybe touch on that before we jump, because we've only been on for an hour. We can go on for a little bit longer, Rob. I'm always talking at you because you always want the show to end early. Which, by the way, Rob, a lot of our UK listeners have been asking for the show to start earlier. I know that's hard for you. You know, maybe an hour earlier, half an hour earlier. Maybe think about that long term. Just thinking.
Think about that, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our UK listeners have been asking that. And I've said, it's your decision for the time, because you're in the UK. We want to accommodate you the most. But Kambosos, back to what I was going to say. Kambosos, he's one of those guys that is secretly and quickly become a top 10 fighter in the lightweight division as a prospect, has a good market behind him. Do we think that, is he a secret diamond in the rough? Can Kambosos for 5 years, 10 years be in contention perennially with the likes of Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, all the other prospects we talk about. Should we talk about Kambosos more in that conversation, in that bracket?
You forgot one prospect.
Tanahara too. I apologize. Yes, but should Kambosos be in that conversation more from our side as media, as fans? Should we be talking about him more? Gary, Rob, I don't know who wants to jump in.
Go ahead, Rob. Okay.
I'm just looking something up.
Yeah, I mean, if he wins this fight, he'll have the best win of those groups outside of Teofimo, who's got the Kome win. Right? I mean, this is a good win. It's a really good win. He hasn't gotten it yet, and I don't know if I'll pick him. But look, he's fought Ray Perez, who's a guy you're supposed to beat, but a tough guy. He beat him, and then he beat Mickey Bay, and he looked really good beating Mickey Bay. So, I mean, yeah, he may be the sleeper of this division, but I think we'll find out a lot more in the Selby fight. But if he beats Selby, that's a great win. And he's got better win than anything that Devin Haney has or Tanahara has. Is it a better win than – yeah, it's a better win than anything Ryan Garcia has.
Yeah. If he beats Lee Selby?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. He, like you said, he would have the best resume other than Lopez of all these prospects, air quotes, because some of them are champions now, at lightweight. The only other person would maybe be Gervonta Davis with the Pedraza win, right? You would maybe in the Gamboa win, you might give Gervonta that nudge as being in that young fighter bracket as being the second best resume. But no, you're right. Kambosos would have a claim to that. And he would be a largely dark horse name that no one kind of talks about, knows about. That's interesting. He's going to be like the Verge Ortiz of the lightweight division. Like no one's going to talk about him. No one's going to really mention him, but I think he's going to be a force for a while.
Very quick. I thought he did when you said Selby's a PBC fighter. He's actually a matchroom fighter now.
Oh,
that's why it'll be DAZN. Because it's a Sky. It'll be a.
Did he switch? Was it just before the Ricky Burns fight?
It must have been, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was about almost a year ago, short of a year, about 10 months ago.
Okay. Last topic of the day.
ITV PBC deal when it looked like they signed up a few UK fighters that were going to be on these UK cards. I guess that all kind of went south, kind of because ITV have now picked up Frank Warren's cards and things like that. So
a lot of movement over there from that side of it.
Yeah.
Last topic of the day, and we're going to head over. Shane Mosley Jr. inks co-promotional deal with Golden Boy Promotions. Guys, I know Gary had a hot take here about why Golden Boy signed Shane Mosley Jr., the son of the legend. Gary, thoughts on why Golden Boy picked up the middleweight Shane Mosley Jr.?
Because he's going to be fighting Munguia in the very near future.
The second you said that, I'm like, oh my God, it's going to happen. So true. Oscar is so petty. He will sign Shane Mosley's son.
So he can somehow beat Mosley in his realm of...
Yes.
Yes.
Look, no discredit to Shane Mosley, but I don't think he's that great of a prospect or talent, to be quite honest. I think he's decent, but he's a card filler sort of guy, in my opinion, in terms of talent level. He's a club level guy.
He lost to a guy named Mark Christopher Atkins, who's a club level fighter in Dallas.
Yeah.
That's who he is.
He's a club level guy. He just is. Munguia is a notch above club level. Not a ton of notches, but he's a notch above club level. He beat Shane Mosley Jr. and actually might beat him up pretty bad too. So this is Oscar getting revenge. Santiago with the hot take saying Munguia will lose. Damn. Hold on. That
would be great.
Gunshots for you, Santiago, because you've just sent some gunshots at Golden Boy and Munguia. I like that. I like the hot take there. Guys, I mean, that's going to be it for the show. Any other thoughts we have on topics? Deontay Wilder, Caleb Plant offers, Bob Arum top rank deal, any of that fun stuff, guys. Any last thoughts?
Nepotism is good. Like, all you have to do is be the son of a legend and you get signed by one of the big players. Like Shane Mosley Jr., and I'm a huge Shane Mosley fan. He's one of my all-time favorite fighters. But you can't tell me his son's a good fighter. Like, you can't tell me that. Like, he should be fighting on major cards. He'd lose to, like, any guy you've seen on TV.
Hot take.
I mean, you can't tell me Shane Mosley Jr. is a world level fighter, like a world level. Like he's just not. Like he's not that good.
Wait, how old is he?
He's not young anymore. I'm saying he's probably pushing 30.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
And he has like what? He's like 15-3.
He's got a bunch of losses.
Why
He
is
lost
he
on
doing
the Pacquiao card in Australia. He lost to Mark Christopher Atkins, and he lost to the contender. So I know off the top of my head, he's got at least 3 losses.
Anyway, stop ruining Charles Martin fight week. I'm too excited. I don't want all this negativity.
The return of the god.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I'm glad he no longer thinks like,
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
a focused Martin is a dangerous Martin. And by the way, if Pulev gets injured pre-Joshua, we could get Joshua Martin too. Because he would be, if he wins against Washington, he'd be next available in line. So Pulev, no stranger to an injury before a Joshua fight. We could get Joshua Martin too.
We're going to be heading out of here now, guys, off of that high note there, Rob.
You've turned your back. You jumped off the train. I don't like it anymore. You're terrible.
I just jumped off the train. I just
This
got
show loves Charles Martin.
the show loves. We are a Charles Martin fanboy show, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we are now going forward.
I just looked it up. Shane Mosley Jr. is 29.
Oh my God, he is almost 30.
We are Mixed Martin Radio.
God, you're such an old dad, Rob. Anyways, guys, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. Find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, on all social media platforms right there.
That's
Robbie Hearns.
That's hard to do, isn't it? Like,
you always go the wrong way too, huh?
When you swapped Gary, I was like, yeah, get over there. No, get over there. Oh, never mind. It was going to be good.
Inside BBC with Sean Porter, where they asked him to write the answer on like a whiteboard, and he wrote it backwards. And Kate Ebdo's like, "Why did you write it backwards?" He's like, "For TV." Right? It's like it doesn't work that way.
Technology, we got you.
Wait, he did that?
Yeah.
Why have I not seen this clip? People out there listening, potential lunatic, someone out there that like is online as much as maybe I am, please find that clip and send it to me.
Well,
please.
someone more online than you are.
More online, I should say. Yes, more online. Leonard Sterling, I know you're out there on the Twitter sphere all the time. You must have seen that clip. Send it to me, please. Please. That clip is golden. That should be in our intro. Anyways, Rob, final thoughts, man.
Yeah. UK Rob, MCR, Instagram and Twitter. I know people don't like me saying it, but smash that thumbs up, share the show, all that good stuff. Maybe I should just start saying, why don't you send a super chat? Because if you already do those other things, you know what I mean? Someone's got to pay for these pay-per-views for us to watch to then talk about for you on the show. So $24.99, man, for 5 a.m. That's terrible. But yeah, I guess we'll catch you on the immediate reaction show, or whether Matt and Gary give you that exclusive Patreon space moon landings fucking talk.
Gary doesn't want that work.
And I'm not ready to watch Canelo Triple G2 yet or whatever. So we won't do that one just yet, but soon.
Oh, I understood what you said.
And go check out the Discord. We're trying to get the Discord thing going. So
thank you for reminding me that. Before we jump out, Discord.com. But in our community tab, right, it's very easy. It's on YouTube, on our community tab. I posted the link to our new Discord forum. I don't know what it is, but all of you millennial kids have been telling me to get one for the show. So that's what I did. I got a Discord server forum for the channel, and I guess we can use it for live shows. I'm going to try to figure that out, guys. But
go check it out, because Lunatic's in there saying about need someone to do admin, and then I was like, well, I vote for you. Santiago said, yeah, I second that. So if you can make potential Lunatic someone to do with the admin, he'll then get it all looking sweet.
Lunatic, when I figure out how to do that,
yeah,
I will get on that.
It's like I need my glasses to find my glasses. It's like that, right? I need my glasses on to find my glasses. But yeah.
Gary in Dallas, final thoughts.
Yeah, make sure to give us a super chat too, so we can bid and buy that Char versus Jennings fight. we can.
Char versus Brian.
Char versus Brian.
A minimum of $1 million super chat, please.
Yeah, $1 million super chat. I mean, that's all. And then, but it's well worth it. You'll get to watch that super fight.
The unification of the WBA regular and interim belt, people. That's not laughing matter. That's serious historical news.
Matt Hunter's epic quest for peace.
Find me on all forms of social media at 3D Boxing, 3D Boxing Blog. From Texas to the world, thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much for being a dosser. Thank you.
Peace.